Welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where we continue to bring you live and exclusive coverage from Fujitsu Forum 2019. The doors have been open since 9 a.m. this morning. Believe it or not, we're expecting guests traveling from more than 80 countries around the globe, all descending on Forum to hear and see the latest innovations coming out of Fujitsu. We're within the digital transformation zone, which is where attendees get to see all of the exhibits on offer. So if you're here today, this is where you'll come and see all the examples of Digita and Ayla, for example. Of course, we had the Steadicam out earlier. I believe on the next segment, we're going to put it out and about again, so you'll be able to see firsthand what is going on here. Now, attendees also get to see 4 keynotes. We brought you one already, and we have another coming up this afternoon. You will see all 4 keynotes from Fujitsu Forum 2019 live and uninterrupted on our TV channel. Guests also get to avail of many interactive breakout sessions. One of those is being run tomorrow by our guests. 3 familiar faces. Ellie, we've spoken to you quite a bit over the last couple of years. You're the sales specialist, future workplace Fujitsu in Ireland. And then anyone that was watching yesterday will remember Steve Wilson, VP of products at Citrix, and Andrew Davis, head of future workplace Fujitsu. Workplace is a really interesting one. Everyone seems to know that we need to be doing better. We need to enable our staff better. We need better technology. Why are we still failing our employees? Why is it still going on? It just seems to be that we should have cracked this one by now, shouldn't we?
Well, when you think about it, we've got hundreds of applications out at every company that's out there, and they've been built in different decades with different technologies. They've accrued over time. And if you think about the complexity that we've put out there that all of our employees need to deal with, think about the photocopier that's in every office. There's 100 buttons on it. Nobody knows how to use most of them, but at least there's one big green button to push a copy. Most of our enterprise software doesn't even have that green button. And our employees are struggling as a result.
Sure, I laugh because any of my colleagues will tell you I really do struggle quite literally with our photocopier in the office. How critical to business, Ellie, is empowering our workforce, getting this right? This is key, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely critical. I think following on from what Steve was saying, in our personal lives, we have changes all the time. If something's not working, then we just leave it and we don't bother with it. Whereas in a workplace, if the photocopier is not working, it hinders your day. You can't, you wanted to do something with that. And really that can be quite demotivating for an employee, which then makes them not very empowered at all to do their job. So if they're demotivated and they can't use their technology on a day-to-day basis, or even their working environment isn't fit for purpose, quite quickly we see that employees become very disengaged, and a disengaged workforce means a demotivated workforce, which obviously then impacts productivity, and naturally doesn't work towards your business outcomes. So it's absolutely critical is the answer.
Steve, I know when I've been involved in brainstorms at Fujitsu and I've been asked to hypothesize about the future, I've struggled to come up with answers. Or are businesses still trying to figure out what the future workforce is going to look like? And if so, that's got to limit them on their ability to get the strategy right, doesn't it?
Well, I think the workforce is evolving, and the concept of the workspace and the workplace are evolving, all in tandem. Right? We've got different generations of workers coming in. We used to talk about millennials as the coming thing. They're now more than half the workforce. They are the biggest part of the workforce that's out there. When we think about the workspace and basically the environment that we're putting out there digitally for our employees to work in, it's evolving very quickly. Just a few years ago, it was just about the idea of basically being able to get your applications and your documents together in one place and being able to access them from a few different devices. Now it's evolving into an intelligent workspace. How do I bring together artificial intelligence? How do I bring together the ability to reach out into those enterprise systems and bring you the work that you need so that your employees can work better, work faster, and spend more of their time on creative and interesting tasks?
I know in your breakout session tomorrow, you're talking about the Citrix Fujitsu partnership and talking about Fujitsu's Run My Process. When we had the Steadicam out earlier, we actually brought some pictures of it on display. Just how are both organizations working together, and what does Run My Process do for customers?
So we're working really closely with Citrix on this, as you can see from the demo that we've set up over there. And what we're really looking to do is use the great experience that Citrix brings for the end user and really tying that into the the fantastic integration and process orchestration we get from Run My Process to really rethink our business processes and make them much more simple and automated for our end users, so our customers can deliver better digital experiences for their customers.
I think this is probably a controversial question, but who's responsible for defining what the company uses within their workspace? I mean, we know the CIO's probably involved in it. HR, I'm sure, will be popping up. Should talent managers be taking a lead, or should it be the boardroom? Should it be, what do we think? Where should responsibility lie?
Ideally, we really want our employees to drive that. We want to drive an experience that offers them choice. We talked earlier about the different generations. So we really want to provide them with the tools that they want to be their most productive, but then controlled and managed through our IT department so we know that it's robust, reliable and secure.
I think what we see first off is the company as a whole needs to take a commitment on the fact that it's going to start to empower workers, and it's going to start to take seriously the requirement that we deliver a better workspace to our users. At that point, it's a shared responsibility, but IT has a key role to play. But more and more, we do see HR coming in and getting involved and contributing to that discussion a lot.
Do we think they're working together enough? Is there work to be done? Do we need to kind of corral them a bit more? I'm sure that's probably not necessarily a question you want to answer, but be bold.
No, it's a simple answer. The answer is we're not working together enough. And it's not just between the CIO and the HR officer. It's really thinking that this is a problem for the whole company. It used to be that applications were a problem for IT, and IT was a cost center. And so all we were doing every year was asking IT to do more with less, asking them to cut their budget by 10%, but continue to deliver what they were delivering before and add 100 new applications. That's how we got where we are. We need to rethink that. We need to think of IT as a key enabler for everything that we're doing. It's a key enabler for employee engagement, employee productivity, and the entire workplace experience. And really, if we think of it that way, there's a really new way that HR, the CIO, the finance organization, the product organizations can all work together and interface in new ways.
When's the breakout session tomorrow?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, so there you go. If you're at Fujitsu Forum tomorrow, 9 o'clock, get yourself along and see that. Final question, if you have one message of help for the people watching, they've watching this segment and they're thinking, okay, I need to go and do something about this, where do I start? What would you say to them?
You start with your employees. You know, it's the easiest place to start, because by understanding their needs, it will then help you reflect what you need to do in your business. You know, a lot of the time in the past, we've typically looked at IT and looked at what we think they need, but you know, things are always going to change. By all means, every single year you're going to have new technology coming out, which is the right thing, but obviously it's all good and well looking at the new technologies, whereas if the basics aren't there and the fundamentals, if it takes you, you know, 20 minutes to be able to log on, restart your laptop just to be able to actually do your job on a daily basis, and that's the problem. So it doesn't matter, you know, if you're getting the latest technology if you haven't got the basics. So you're only going to understand that by doing colleague journey mapping, which is something we do now with our consultants. You know, we go in, we understand the end user's problems from their perspective, and then we tailor it to meet that. So.
You got a word of advice, Andrew?
Absolutely, focus on the experience of the employees, but also understand what is your workforce of the future need to look like. What are those jobs and skills you're going to need for the future, and build around that. Build your technology and your platforms to support them in their new roles.
I guess you're probably going to echo that, aren't you?
So look, companies that invest now in secure, intelligent digital workspaces are going to have higher employee engagement, better productivity, lower turnover. There's a huge advantage to working on this right now, and Fujitsu and Citrix are partnering together to help deliver this for customers.
Well, there you go. We said that our commitment to you on Fujitsu Forum TV was to bring you solutions to key problems facing businesses right now. This is an apparent challenge that doesn't necessarily need to be one if you take the great advice from Ellie, Andrew and Steve. Guys, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. There's plenty more insight coming your way on Fujitsu Forum TV today. Where are we going next? Do you know, I can't tell you where we're going next. It's not written on my card. I do know we'll be back here at 1:30. Stick with us. There's so much more coming your way.